What's up, guys, and welcome back for another solo mining episode 126. Tonight, or today, we're going to be out here with doing some ice. We kind of show off my kind of quick, down and dirty endurance blitz kind of situation. Now, this is a setup that I've actually quite enjoyed doing out here in Nullsec. I mean, it's just essentially just taking 5 endurances out, putting them all on the same rock, and then just 18 minutes later, you got like 95 units of ice. It's pretty great. Now it's obviously not as effective yield wise as, like, say, drag mining with hulks or boosting with porpoises or whatever. But what's nice about this is once I get all the lasers set up, I don't really have to switch to those other accounts, right? Because I'm not moving anything out of a fleet hangar into like a command ship or managing like compression or something, right? So like I can just, what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be showing the whole process here. So each one of these ships we're going to let fill up all the way. Each ship will hold 19 units of ice. For all 5 ships, this is 95 units. And then we'll show kind of what the repros yield is from that and all that. In terms of like pre-refine value, 18 minutes, you're going to do about 21 million in just raw ore, or raw ice rather. Um, and it's very easy to just go out here and just kind of hit this, multiple times a day. Like I'll go out here, put them all out for 17, 18 minutes or so, when we have like kind of a time of peace, when there's like really no movement or whatever in local. And the thing too is, like, with this setup, like I have them all grouped together right now, so if like a new does come in system with this configuration, I'm already on the fleet leader, so I would just warp fleet to a safe pos and they would just all go off grid together pretty quickly too. You can actually also spread these if you want to do a little bit more. You can actually spread these guys out on their own rocks with their own like bookmarks, offset those rocks, and then if somebody actually comes in like a neutral or whatever, you can just cycle through all of your alts here and cloak them up, like I've talked about in previous episodes. So this configuration is pretty evasive for the most part. I do find it easier just to have them all grouped up like this. They're really quick to warp, so if a neutral does come in, I can take it off to a safe pause, chill out there, cloak up whatever, and then it doesn't take a whole lot to get them kind of back on grid and lasers back on. But the cycle times for these guys, they're all pretty much identical. All of the alts are pretty much straight up identical. There might be some variants on like their shield skills, or some of their magic 14 stuff, but for the most part, what is affecting the actual yield is all pretty much matched. The cycle time is about 47 seconds for each, so every 47 seconds I'm going to get 5 units of ice, which is pretty good, honestly. And obviously, like, not everybody's going to run like 5 accounts. I kind of invested in and got these accounts kind of like up to par, because doing stuff like this is nice when the option's out there, or having the Rorqual and then having like 4 hulks doing ore is great. These guys can also, and they can also do prospect, Mercoxit, all that stuff. So if it's not ice, we can actually swap all these miners out into prospects and kind of covert ops to an anomaly somewhere, and just kind of blitz the different types of material anomalies that are out there, and come back with 5x more, 4x more, whatever, than if we were going out solo. Now, even though and that's the other thing too, is even though I have 5 accounts that can mine, it doesn't mean I'm always taking out 5 accounts. I've seen a lot of people who, yeah, they'll invest in like additional miners and stuff, and then they always take that alt out. If I don't feel like taking all 5, I won't. Or you can break them up too and do different things. Sometimes I'll have like a couple of them do ice, and at the same time have a couple of them over doing like a moon pop, or a an ore anomaly in a completely different system. whatever. And what's nice too is like if you're working in a cluster in nullsec, you have access to multiple systems for mining. If one system is kind of like populated a lot with maybe like dread bomb sino camping out or whatever the case may be, having multiple mining alts kind of spread out throughout the cluster for your corporation or alliance is nice, because it's like, okay, well, the alt in this system can't really go mine because there's a lot of neutral activity going on. So you switch to the other one, you look at what their system's doing, you give yourself the ability to mine regardless. And also that's another benefit of having expedition frigates, right? They, if I needed to put all these guys in prospects and go do some sort of like ore mining, that is, though I can gate those ships. Like you wouldn't gate a Hulk or a Mackinac or a Triever or even like a Procure or anything like that. They're just too slow. They're very vulnerable. But a prospect and an endurance, you can gate those guys. I really don't necessarily like gating endurances because, I do like having the covert cloak for coverage. That's why I kind of like base myself out of a system that has like an ice belt usually, so that all the endurances can go out there and do ice. But like, or I can travel for, have prospect will travel, so to speak. But I started off like before we officially joined Slow, I had one character out here in Nullsec, just kind of doing the 6th planet, single character kind of yield kind of situation. So with the content moving forward, as you can probably tell over the course of the past week or so, we're scaling out. So 5 miners, we're gonna be doing a lot of multiple miner videos again, which I think is gonna be nice. It's been a minute. We also have, in terms of PI, we actually have 7 alts right now doing planets. So all 5 of these guys have 6 planets, and then we have 2 other ones in a secondary and tertiary slot doing PI as well. I think 7 PI alts is good. We're gonna run those for a few weeks and kind of see what our output is. But our major focus right now is fuel blocks and nanite repair pace. So coming out here and doing an ice trip like this, even doing this a couple of times a day, is will really get you there. These rocks out here, if they're untouched, they're like a little over 300 units. So technically you could actually do this 4 times per every big faction rock that's out here. And I would consider like doing 300 units of ice a day with this kind of setup pretty decent in terms of being able to have control of the situation. What's nice about these ships is even if we lose one, they're cheap. We're talking like 48 million completely fitted, right? So this whole fleet is 48 million x5, right? But every time we come out here and do a run, refined value is probably in the neighborhood of like 29 million or so. So you can actually pay this whole fleet off in like a couple of runs, which is great for your bottom line. And then, since they're very evasive and they're fast to get off grid and reposition and all that stuff, the chance of you losing one to like a neutral are very slim as long as you're paying attention. And that's another big thing too, is like, if you're worried about like getting that bankroll going and getting, doing industry to, kind of, get some, play money, some fun money or whatever, then not losing ships is just as important as how much ISK you can make per hour, because, you don't want to have to replace that stuff down the road. Which is, I still enjoy doing like Rorqual drag mining and even Rorqual like drone mining. It's just with the way like if I was gonna go out and like Rorqual drone mine right now on ice, those XCavs will do. I could do about 5 units of ice every 20 something seconds if I'm sieged, right? Now if you're not sieged, it's like 5 units of ice every like 150 or so seconds or something. So if you actually compare the 5x endurance setup that we're doing right now to like sieging and using 5 ice XCavs on the same ice. This setup is not only cheaper, but it's more nimble, and it's just more invasive and reliable, because the Rorqual, those XCavs might be doing 5 every 30 seconds or so. It's like 10, probably about 10 units of ice a minute. But to get that kind of yield, that Rorqual can't move at all. And 5 minutes in nullsec is a long time, right? Still do it, but it's like if I actually need, like, no shit, like I need to go out and get ice for like industry, and I'm not just like doing some sort of like theory crafting or science project stuff with mining, then yeah, I'm going to take something that's reliable, that's nimble, that's evasive, that gives me as much control as possible for what I'm trying to do. And that's what this setup is. This setup is like, these endurances are like XCav pluses for the most part. And you could go probably crazy with it and like get even more than just 5, but I think 5 is a good number, to be honest. Even if you drop down to like, even if you could only do like 3 endurances, you're still doing pretty good. The reason I do 5 is because I like to get really close to like one trip being close to like 100 units. And that math makes, better sense in my head. It's like, I go out, I know I'm going to do 95 units if I stay for the full floor cargo and all that. Now, as you see right here, they're starting to hit their 19s. I don't have to switch to their actual screen. I can just watch the lasers. I'm always making sure there's 5 lasers going, because I don't have to move ice out of their hold into like a porpoise or something. I can just wait, and like once all of their lasers are off, I know they're all full. So as you can see here, there's our ice there, and we're going to go ahead and refine this so I can show you exactly what the value is. So you can see here about 29 million. You're going to get, quite a decent amount of isotopes here and all that. Now, faction ice is not great for Straunt. You're going to have to go ahead and get something else for that when you start, running low, but, that's fine. But that's a pretty decent haul for 17, 18 minutes of work. But anyway, thank you for watching. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and check out Patreon, and I'll see you in the next one.